We're gonna. What is he do? Wait a second.
Oh,
is that flag? Take me to the horseshoe, my friends. Because when Baker did this at OU, Nick Bosa was in the postgame locker room on his field. He has been incensed about it for 2 years and had a lot to say during and after the game. He was chanting Baker's name during the game at Baker. And guys, this was a blowout. All Niners, start to finish, 31-3. Incredible night in San Francisco, 4-0. And then he wasn't done. More? And Nick grabbed an actual flag after the game and planted it. Unbelievable. Nate, what do you think?
Listen, I love the fact that he's taunting Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield trolls everybody.
Damn right. And let's hear from that Nick Bosa, number 97, discussing revenge or a reckoning.
But yeah, I practiced a little bit in my room.
Did you watch the clips? Because there was a video of like side by side, and it was almost.
It was pretty accurate. I mean, the image was in my head pretty good, so I kind of had a good idea. I was kind of trying to talk. I don't usually talk, but this game, he had it coming. So, but he didn't say one word back. So.
What'd you say? Just an example.
I was just screaming his name like, Baker, Baker, you good? Come on, pick it up. We want a challenge. Just stuff like that.
So this was throughout the game, not just on.
Yeah, and he was just looking at me like.
And these are the effects of the Baker Mayfield experience. We're going to dig into that, of course. An excellent article by Michael Silver you should check out at NFL.com. But let's talk about this Niner squad and how impressive they are. The only undefeated team in the NFC. Nate, have they planted their flag as legitimate contenders in 2019?
Yes, they have, Kay.
Plant it, Nate. Come on now. Yeah, come on now.
Boom, boom. Listen, there's a lot of reasons why we can give these guys their flowers while they can smell them. But I'm going to go ahead and give these flowers to Kyle Shanahan because over the first couple of years, it's been a struggle. Let's just call it what it is. They were 10-22. There were so many different things that he was dealing with. You think about last season, the hype going into last season. Jimmy Garoppolo, he goes down with that ACL. Jet McKinnon, he goes down before the season even starts. And then this year, Jet McKinnon goes down again. And then Joe Staley breaks his leg among the 10 guys that they have on IR. Yet and still, with all the hype surrounding the other teams, here are the 49ers doing it and doing it big. Just think about how the season started. What were we saying? It's the Rams division. You got to respect the champs. Russell Wilson in Seattle, they'll always have a chance because Russ is just that good. It was even, you know what? The Arizona Cardinals got Kyler Murray. There's a lot of hype surrounding this young fella. The Arizona Cardinals might be okay. But here we are. Number 2 defense, number 2 offense, and Kyle Shanahan has everything moving in the right direction. They're undefeated, so I'm going to give them the slight nod over Seattle. That might be a little bit of a hot take. I'll take you back to a conversation I had with Kyle Shanahan when I was playing for the Browns. He looked at the team and said, if you run things my way, we will be successful. This isn't me being cocky. It's just me knowing football. And I feel like these guys have bought into everything that he's selling, and you can see it on the field.
I think they can plant their flag as the #1 run game, which they are. They're averaging over 200 rush yards a game. This is the best run game. You mentioned the 270. You look at Shanahan and you think passing prowess. You think the innovation and creativity of the passing game, a la 2016 Falcons. Their longest pass play last night, guys, was 22 yards. This first play that was obviously a statement, you had 7 offensive linemen out there. You had Juszczyk, the announcers called him out, and you had George Kittle, both blocking. That means a lot to this offense. I love that it's Tevin Coleman in his first game back since week 1, showing what he can do. Mostert's getting the ball. Breida might be faster than Goodwin at this point. Like, I don't know. I'd love to see those two have a foot race. To me, it is wild to see what they're doing and that Shanahan's beating teams this way. It's like Ryu in Street Fighter, Kyle. He's beating you by kicking you. He hasn't even brought out the hurricane kick
Don't even need it.
Or the Hadouken. He hasn't even hit you with the stuff that he can really do.
Back pocket Hadouken.
Their run game's #1 in the NFL. Respect it.
And I think there was a concern coming into this season. They didn't have the receiving weapons, right? Like, it was like, why didn't they go for Antonio Brown? Why didn't they go for Odell Beckham? Why are they're okay with Pettis and Deebo Samuel? Yeah, because they're really good at the run game, and Kyle Shanahan can draw it up. But for all the offense and all the running, that defense is so good. It wasn't just that Baker Mayfield played horribly last night. It's because the Niners made him play horribly last night. 8 different times he was hit behind the line of scrimmage. 4 different times he was sacked. He was under duress the entire. That's Robert Saleh, one of the most fired up defensive coordinators in the league.
Look at him.
He comes from that Seattle system. Also, he is a wrecking ball, and the players play like that. I'll tell you, they've got 5 different first-round picks on their front 7, and it's D Ford who they brought in. It's Bosa, obviously, who last night had 4 tackles and 2 sacks. But the guy I always talk about is number 99, DeForest Buckner Defoe. I picked him to be the defensive player of the year before the season. He's now got 3 sacks. He had another forced fumble last night. If this defense continues to look this way, he's got a real shot. And you add in Eric Armstead and you add in all these other guys, Solomon Thomas, like they have the guys. They've been collecting them for years.
Yep.
Now they're playing. Baker Mayfield won 8 of 22 last night in an NFL game. That's not just because Baker had a rough night. It's because the Niners forced him to have a bad night.
And it was hard for me to believe that they live up to your expectations for this defense. All offseason, all we were hearing out of Peter Schrager was about those picks, the fact that they've collected this talent, that they had a young, feisty defense. It's hard to live up to those expectations, and they're fulfilling them and really exceeding them at this point this season.
We love defense. We love a running game.
What?
The question was contender.
Yeah.
Now, contender to me does not mean, well, we go 5-0, no, we win the NFC. Contender is you're going to the title game, you're winning the title game, and we had a lot of questions still about the quarterback. Now, they may be good, they may even be great, and no apologies for whoever they've beaten. Jimmy Garoppolo, we ask this question a lot of quarterbacks. Does Jimmy Garoppolo have the dog in him? Does he have it? Because I'll tell you this. Is he going to be a guy who goes in the playoffs and beats Russell Wilson, beats Rodgers? Here's the guys who Jimmy Garoppolo has beaten. He's done a lot of winning. Tell me one of these guys that scares you. He's beaten Baker Mayfield. He's beaten Blake Bortles, Mason Rudolph, Andy Dalton, TJ Yates, Sean Mannion, John Fox, Mitch Trubisky. Guys, he's got questions to answer. And yesterday he didn't have to do anything. He could sit there and hand off, and God bless him for it. It's not his fault. But there will come a time, and I know exactly when it is. It's about 6 weeks from now when he plays Russ and he plays Rodgers, that Jimmy Garoppolo's going to have to answer the 3rd and 12 question. We ran a couple of cool running plays, then we lost a yard, and then we had a no gain. Do I have it? I don't know yet. They can win the NFC West like this. They really can. They're that good. To win the NFC, to get to the title game, Jimmy Garoppolo's going to have to be a star. Still got a lot to learn from him.
They haven't unleashed their passing attack yet. I'd like to think there's a Hadouken in there somewhere, Shay.
Maybe there is. Maybe there's one of those fireballs. I hear you on that, and I think that they have the playbook, and they're playing to their strengths, though, right now.
Yeah.
Because the fact they don't have maybe those receivers or that Julio Jones.
There'll come a time.
But he's going to have to make
There will
plays.
come a time.
And yet, Kyle, 12-2 as a starter.
He's great. He's great.
12-2.
Hasn't run into the dogs yet.
You can only drive the car to the keys.
100%. No disrespect. I just am looking forward to seeing it because we don't know.
He literally did run into the dogs, though, and he blew them out on the primetime game.
Ran them off the porch.
Those dogs are with those cone on their head right now, you know?
We know those Browns fans are watching. We're going to
Elizabeth
dig
and
into
Cone.
Baker Mayfield, the experience, the antics. This San Francisco team looked revved up for more than just the game. They had some personal reasons as well to sort of get them going. But Week 6 starts with a David versus Goliath situation. Daniel Jones and the Giants up in Foxborough to take on, the Goliath. That's pretty much what it is. We're going to relive some of these memories with former Giant great Justin Tuck.
Yeah, Justin Tuck.
Yeah, we'll go over how Big Blue can get a win here. And the Redskins aren't going to start Dwayne Haskins this weekend. That is the latest. Does that tell you anything about the firing of Jay